Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gylan.
What's going on?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing well. How's your weekend?
Man, a great weekend. Worked with kids. We literally worked with kids the entire weekend. Had a symposium with SISD, San Antonio Independent School District, where the kids were actually talking to the potential board members.
Yeah.
And they were holding them accountable. It was absolutely gorgeous. And then I did a live stream at the Tobin Center with Children's Chorus of San Antonio.
Man, that's
so like weekend. Literally my weekend was engulfed in kids. It was like 2 to 3 hours each time, but I've had enough of the little turds for a while. So
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Did they hit him with like some real deal questions, or were they?
Oh
like
yeah.
softballs?
They were like, yo, so one of the little girls was like, how do you plan on dealing with the kids that get anxiety for lockdowns? She was a third grader.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's that, Gylan?
Who's the kid?
No, brother. I'm saying the other voice right there. That
oh,
you
no, I know. Who is that? I can't see him behind my screen.
That's my boy, Andres Cuellar, Texas Professional Paint, man. That's our guest for the day. It's going to be awesome.
All right.
We're going to light it up, bro. We got some good stuff today.
All right. Well, let's jump into it.
Okay.
You are now listening to the latest episode of the Urban Texan Realty Group podcast with your host, Patrick Vallejo, a.k.a. Downtown Pat. From the starry nights to the city lights of Texas,
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Patrick gives you the best and most comprehensive advice on real estate. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Urban Texan Realty Group podcast.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? This is Patrick Vallejo, Urban Texan Realty Group, with my man Gylan Jackson and our special guest today, Mr. Andres Cuellar with Texas Professional Paint. How's everybody doing this morning?
Really good. Thanks
Nice.
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're looking forward to this. Gylan, you ready to do this?
What up? Let's do it, baby.
Dude, we got a full show today, bro, for real. So
You got recorded hit on your keyboard?
what's that? I got recorded hit on my
Yes,
keyboard.
all right, that's
We
all
can
that
start
matters.
Straight
That's all
in.
that matters.
All right.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you,
Sanjay. Yes. So we're about to get rolling. We've got a couple of things we want to give our shots out to our sponsors right here. We've got Alamo Title, Norma Urbina, Jessica, and Kathleen, all crushing it for us. Whether you're buying, selling, wholesaling, need a double close, need to run an assignment, you name it. These guys handle all of my transactions across the board, and that's why I use them. They're versatile. They understand what it is, and they're moving in the real speed of business. So when I got to get a deal closed, that's who I'm calling right there. Alamo Title, Norma Urbina is my closer of choice. We also have Dudley Snyder, Fairway Mortgage. This guy is a killer. Andres knows him personally. He's something special. But whether you're just trying to buy, refinance, like the guy is kind of like the wizard of numbers, right? He's going to show you any programs you qualify for up front. Fairway Mortgage, Dudley Snyder. He is a killer. And then last but not least, local bean powered for this morning. We are running with Estate Coffee. My man Brian, this is at 1320 East Houston Street. Estate Coffee, they are local. They roast their own beans and bringing smiles daily every morning. So
There you go.
Hey, beans make me smile, man. I gotta get going on a Monday.
Dudley's helping me with the ranch, and Norma's actually helping me with that transaction with 463 Shadywood. So
That's right.
yeah, man. Thank you for that.
Absolutely, man. It's because they're good at
people.
what they do. Exactly. And that's kind of the whole point. This podcast is really about bringing people that are out there really getting it done. Reliable resources, reliable information that you can mold to what you want to do, whether it's here in San Antonio, which is a tremendous market to be in, or anywhere else, really. These are real fundamentals and principles of construction and day-to-day and real estate. So, all right, everybody, we are going to hop in. Our first guest is going to be Andres Cuellar. He's with Texas Professional Paint. Andres, he does a little bit of everything, right? Texas Professional Paint, a lot of people don't realize it's not just, a company that's going to come and take care of your personal house. Residential is a huge part of this whole thing, but you guys also do commercial, and you also do government, right?
Yes, sir.
What does it mean for people? Because people are like, well, government, what does that mean? Like, can't anybody do that?
So government, you're doing a lot of schools.
Mm-hmm.
You need your hourly guys. You're doing courthouses, things like that.
And these guys that go in there, they've got
background checks.
Yeah, they've
and
got
all
background
kinds of
checks,
deals.
the whole nine,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And these guys work for you across the board. But that's the thing is like it's not just any random person coming into your house,
No.
and these people go through a process just to work for you to be able to do these projects as well.
We do have subs as well, but those subs are just basically doing our houses, commercial stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the paint world, a lot of people don't really realize how important paint can really be. I mean, think about it from just the fundamentals of aesthetics, right? Gylan, when you look at something, are you all about it just at first sight? Does that have a big impact at you?
Oh, it does. That's why, people talk about what curb appeal, right?
All day, man.
So, you have to look at it from the standpoint of what does that look like. So, I know Andreas being a painter, that's half the battle.
Well,
you grow up in the bad paint job where it's purple and pink, you're not going to like it.
Well, there's a lot of phases to painting that people don't realize, right? Like, say you're doing some of the stuff that I like to do downtown, right? A lot of historics, a lot of older homes, 100-year-old homes, right? Right. You got to get in. There's a disclosure we give as real estate agents. Any property that's built before 1978, we have to provide a disclosure that states whether somebody is aware of there being lead-based paint, right? That was a real thing, and so it's an automatic disclosure everybody gives out. But whenever you get into a property like that, right, can you get every scrap of every piece of paint that's ever been on that property if it's 100-year-old? You can't, right? So what people end up doing is there's a process. They got to sand it down. They got to get it to a level that's going to be more uniform, so that way it doesn't continue to flake up.
Sure.
And then after that, right, you still got to put a couple of layers on this bad boy to kind of get it sealed back up as well, right?
It's extensive, and we always try to let the customer know what to expect at the end. You have a 100-plus-year-old house that we're about to start, painting, sanding, and they want it to look brand new. We have to let them know that
you're not going to get all 5 to 10 layers of paint that it's had through its life.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Of 100 years off it. No. That's right. That's right.
I got a quick question. So if you do have one of those houses, though, that's say 100 years old, don't you have more wood to work with, though, as far as sanding it down and everything else, compared to, say, homes built in the 60s or 70s?
Well, I mean,
curiosity.
You got to think about these things too, man. Think about how long it would take to actually get down to wood for every ripple that's in some of these houses, for the way that that siding is actually, was originally constructed, that teardrop shape, that curve, like
that T117 that they typically have on these houses downtown. Sure, it's definitely hard. What we're looking for is a surface that the paint can adhere to. Something that's going to last on a wood house 5 to 8 years is typical. Something like hardy plank, and I think that's why they introduced the hardy plank. You're looking at 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
It definitely does.
Let me ask you, as far as product, right? Because I've learned the hard way using, from the cheapest types of paints to, some really expensive paints. And after working with you guys a few times on some of my projects, I've learned, like, hey, man, one, I'm going to pay more to get the right thing, because the amount of coats that has to go on is a part of this thing. Sure. But the brand itself too, right? Some of these paint companies, everybody wants to know, man, who's the paint company of choice for you?
Sherwin-Williams is definitely our company of choice. We like to use super paint, especially on exteriors. It's always super paint. It's not the very highest duration, $75 a gallon, but it's definitely not going to be your low end product. Super paint carries a 25-year warranty, I believe, on it. And so, I mean, that's the product that we get the best price for. And I mean, we've seen it work really well on all these homes. Yeah.
When we talk about the right surfaces, when you put this super paint on, it's called super paint because it's got a primer plus, right?
It does. And
so when you prime it, it gives you that initial thick layer to really be uniform across different surfaces.
On top of that, if you do have bare wood, I still recommend using like an oil-based spot prime and then coming over it with this top coat, 2 coats of the super paint.
That's awesome.
That's the best way to do these houses.
This is like, again, my mind is blown. Like, who would have thought that I'd be like, oh, yeah, paint, man, this is some cool stuff. This is like real deal. You don't get this from every other agent.
Oh, you thought we were just going to talk about painting somebody's door, man, or
there
what?
There you go.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. No, it's a real process, and I think that's something that people don't realize. When I'm putting costs together for some of my rehabs, or I see people even working with new construction, right? The quality of the product that you use that you're going to put on for color, because my eyes tell me if I want something up front. right?
Sure.
That's my first knee-jerk reaction. Ooh, that looks good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading about this years ago. Just doing, let's just say, an exterior repaint of a home could raise the value of the house 15 to 20%.
It can,
right?
can, because it's still perception. At the core of all this stuff, there's a medley of how value is attained for a house, right? So it's going to be the sales comparisons for an area, square footage becomes a part of it, and then after you get to a certain level, if everything's equal, say you got a whole bunch of brand new houses, right? And it's a matter of, you got 3 of the same style, same square footage, same layout, everything, right? But this house is the dingiest, and this house is the shiniest,
Sure.
right? I'm willing to pay for the shiny one, and my wife, might want the shiny one, right?
Yeah.
Because, and it's more. But just the paint alone, right? It just makes you want and go after it, and so price becomes almost a secondary factor, because you know what? I'm thinking that really nice one, not only does it look nice, in my mind, I'm already telling myself, man, it's probably in better condition.
Yep.
It's probably better,
perception, like
well
you're saying.
taken care of.
Gotcha.
Right? So if they're all the same, all things equal, just from the start of the way something appears, it really kind of resonates with me. To a deeper level, and I'm willing to pay more, and you see it consistently. It's hard to put percentages on things right now just because our market is so crazy that even people are like, hey, I don't need to paint anything. You might be right, but there's a difference. There really is. You might have gotten more, right? By being lazy, not doing it, you might have gotten more. I've done several rehabs on newer built properties that we did. The house was already in great shape. Everything was there that they wanted it. You know what we did? We put new floors and we painted it because the house was already less than 10 years old. There was nothing really for us to do. And just by swapping those 2 items out, oh my gosh, right? We did, and we had a significant increase in price because, of course, we weren't doing it for free. We do it to make profit. So, big part of that. So, I'm going to transition a little bit, and part of the thing I like to do, Andres, is talk to people about what they're personally doing, right? Every guest that's been on here, they personally own property, different variances, different strategies. So wanted to ask you just a few questions. First, do you own different properties?
We definitely do. And actually, Pat's been the one helping us out with a majority of them.
Yeah.
From 251 Natalie that we acquired at, can I say the price?
Okay. It's up to you. It's your house, man. You don't want people knocking, but go ahead.
Right. Nah, well, it's not for sale, but 251 Natalie, it being, 175. You helped me with that purchase.
Yeah, it's a big duplex in Mankey Park, heart of downtown, right? Yeah, not everybody wanted it. Right?
No, definitely not. It was scary, but hey, we made it work, man. And I mean, with about $100K that we've put into it, it's going to be a really, really nice property for rent. Yeah, and duplex, and
and that's part of your strategy for these properties, right? You only have one that you're in right now currently. Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody that hangs around you winds up with some sort of property or something. Like, I listen.
Call them out, man.
It's your job.
But stop selling all this, right?
I know. The damn dude. So I'm just saying, because within a year, I need a piece of property.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of contagious. It does feel good, right? I mean, let's not lie. We're all doing this to win. We're all doing this to further ourselves in life, our families. These are chess pieces that we're trying to lay down for ourselves and our own personal strategies of growth. So
I've told people, hey, you want something, you want to get a deal done in real estate, you call this guy. It's Pat, like straight up. Because I've worked with a lot of real estate agents. I mean, along with that 251, we did 258 Felicia.
Yeah.
There was
you got a pretty cool commercial property you're working on right now.
6824 San Pedro, 100 Blanco is the one that you're talking about that you helped me with, and we're definitely going to do a multi-use there. Property. It's close to 5 Points, right?
It's right at the corner of 5 Points and Beacon Hill. Right. And for those who don't know, man, there is a tremendous mixed-use space that's coming right there. Nice mixture, really great design. Like he went. I mean, who'd you use for it?
We hired Jonathan Card. He's done a lot of work at the Pearl.
Yeah.
West Elm, things like that at the Pearl. Cured.
Yeah,
I think he also did
Might
that.
have heard of these places, right?
Right. And so he's the one that helped us with that architectural rendering and such there. So it's going to be a great spot. We're currently at demo. We're pouring tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And this used to be the old Wong building. There's a family that had convenience stores throughout the city, right? And that's part of San Antonio's history. This family's been around for quite some time. And, they had a property there. It was dilapidated. We identified it. Andres grabbed it. And he's in the process of, like he said, in mid-construction right now, but turning out a really nice mixed-use product. So anybody that's got some forecasting in there, in the near future and wanting to plan out a retail
house.
anchor
There you
spot,
go, man. Yep.
because this area needs the additional infrastructure. There's already a tremendous amount of people that are enjoying that downtown urban lifestyle. So, coffee, food, retail, you can put so many things into that spot and it'll grab. And I think having a really nice retail space helps the community.
It's going to be a good spot, man, for
It's
sure.
going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So you have different properties that are residential as well, right?
Yes, sir.
And are those on long-term or short-term rentals?
So when you say short-term rental, yes.
So Airbnb, VRBO,
So actually,
are you trying
no. So
any of those strategies?
I'm doing
long-term.
long-term.
Okay.
Long-term.
So 1 year, 2 year contracts
Right.
usually with these
Right.
folks. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
how have they been paying for it? Have they been consistent, or have the properties been turning over good rents like you thought they would?
Definitely. And there's actually the 463 Shadywood, the one that Norma Urbina's helping me with. I'm doing a owner finance. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that.
So
as well.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah.
People don't talk about that, but right, when you acquire these properties, what's your end game? Are you going to turn around? Are you going to milk rent forever?
Right.
Do you feel like somebody might have a more vested interest in taking care of the property? And also, if they are going to own it, if they're going to buy it, because not everybody can qualify for financing right now.
Right. Kind of with this lady that we ended up getting at 463 Shadywood, it was just by chance. She said, "Hey, you wouldn't consider doing something like this?" I kind of looked into it. The fact that she's going to be responsible for a lot of the maintenance of the property and carrying the insurance on it and things like that. I mean, it definitely helped me to go that route with her.
So the structure of when you do an owner finance is going to probably be for most people that you have it on an interest rate of your own. For some people,
we discussed that. We negotiated
you bought
that.
it. Yeah, exactly. So you have a structured interest rate that you're providing to this individual, right? Current interest rates vary day to day, of course, and I'm not a mortgage broker, so this is just a general variance that I'm using as an example. But let's say currently your interest rates were from 3 to 4% for regular residential rates, and maybe you would give it to somebody else, owner finance, at a markup of, let's say, 3%. So if you're at 4, you've got a 3% markup right now that you're earning. And people don't think about this right every day, but what do you think people do when they're putting stuff into a mutual fund or other vehicles, right? They're trying to earn interest. Yeah. They're trying to earn interest. They're trying to get things done. Is that my look up here? Look up here? They're trying to earn the long-term compound interest of what this property is doing. So people don't realize that, but right, if you held on to a property or you owner financed to somebody for a full 30 years, what do you think they just paid you? Right? That interest is a killer. We're not talking about socks here, right? It adds up.
It definitely does.
And so it's just a form of savings, and it's a little bit more reliable. And then, God forbid, worst case scenario, things don't go right. Well, guess what? Guess who owns the note?
Yeah.
Right? You do. You're in the position of power.
You're
able to, you're the bank. Mm-hmm. So you go facilitate as you need to, but it's a part of the process, and it's a really good tool that people are utilizing right now because we're growing, and maybe you have additional capital. Maybe you want to just put a place marker on different properties that are affordable, and you let them grow. You let somebody else pay off that piggy bank, and then grow with you. So really good aspect. Okay. Is there anything else right now that you're doing? You're doing multifamily, you're doing commercial, you're doing residential. Is there anything else?
You already know. We should be closing on the ranch, hopefully, within a week or two, man.
Yeah.
That Pat also helped me with. so kind of a bigger deal, and hopefully we do Airbnb there, man.
Yeah.
So it can help pay that.
This is more of a compound, boys and girls. It's not, he's being modest. It's a really phenomenal property that's located in the Fredericksburg area, literally waterfront property. I'm not going to disclose what we're buying it at or anything like that. It's a amazing piece of property, and that's the thing. When we came in, this property had been stagnant, right? It had been sitting on and off the market for about almost a year, right? And we saw it, and we saw the run happening in real time. And I say the run, I'm talking about ranches everywhere were getting snatched up. We're not just talking about Austin to San Antonio. We were in Sabinal, right? We went
to Sabinal, right?
Yeah, we were all over the place.
Definitely were, man. But fell in love with this one, and again, I always tell anybody who's asking for a real estate agent, hey, if you want the deal done, this guy's the one to do it, man. So we got with Dudley. He pushed me over to Dudley, and he's been helping me out with that. And Quentin, right? From what is it? Regional South?
Yeah, Texas Regional
Bank. So.
And that's the thing, right? We're talking. I'm glad you brought that up. This is what it is to be on a team. Dudley didn't even personally do the loan for you at the end, right? Yeah. He referred you to another lender that did the deal, right? Dudley doesn't get paid on that. Just because that's the way this guy is, man. We manage people's portfolio, and we're trying to take care of them. So he helped you package this deal to send to another lender that's about to finish it out, right? And these guys have been pretty good too, right?
They've been great, man. Everybody's been really good.
That's
throughout
awesome.
The entire process. So,
that's awesome. People don't know, man.
I know, man. It's been good, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. We are going to slide over into Pat's top 5.
Top 5?
Pat's top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah, man, that's what we're doing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's time for Pat's Top 5 with Patrick Vallejo.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
All right, everybody. So Pat's top 5, we got a pretty good run right here, and I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm running hard. So we're gonna start with number 1.
1.
So I love to give everybody a little bit of everything. So we're starting off actually in Mico, Texas. This is right over there by Medina Lake, 0 County Road, 2765, MLS number 1521172. I love this property because, man, we talk about affordability and what's going on everywhere. There's a run on ranches, land, things like that. This is over in Bear Springs Ranch. It's a pretty established subdivision. A lot of estates, a lot of empty lots as well. This is 12.92 acres for $119,000. 12.92 acres. So you're over 10, right? You can get some ag exemption up in this bad boy. You've got a really great spread, and you are minutes away from the water, right? Like you can get over to the lake in a hop, skip, and a jump. What do you think it does when you go put a 3,000, 2,000 square foot property on a big piece of land like this right next to a lake, right next to water?
119? Dude, no, I'm doing that.
That's a good deal, right?
Man, yeah, it is.
Exactly.
Jeez. Okay.
Exactly. So, yep. Now we're going to slide over to number 2.
2.
Just the two of us.
This guy.
So I'm going to run through a few right here. I'm not going to lie. Pat's top 5 might have more than 5, but it's because we have been focused on trying to give people nice, affordable properties as well, right? The market's been so hot. Things are moving at an incredibly fast speed. So time matters. Getting somewhere day one on the market, it matters. And if your agent's out there hustling with you, after you hear this podcast, you better get out there for lunch and go put a damn contract on it because it's going to be gone, right? So here we go. 13122 Lark York Street. This is over in Larkspur and Madison Maverick Country, Northeast Corridor, right off of Nacogdoches, closer to 1604, right? So it's going to be priced at $175,000. It's going to be MLS number 1521170. 1,800 square foot property, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 0.19 of an acre. And yeah, look at this, man. It's a great spread. Like Larkspur is an older subdivision, single story. They got a pool room. They got the old school, kind of like that midterm 80s ranch layout is what I describe it as. Can definitely use some newer cosmetics. You know, I'm sure at this price point, I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of movement out in this Northeast corridor. This probably had some settling, but man, for $175K, you can't find this. Seriously, go get it. Go put some cosmetics in here. Put the stuff you want. Get some really great paint put on by Texas Professional Paint, and then rock with it, because that's a great property and it's hard to find under 200.
1,800 square foot?
Man, 1,800 square foot for $175K. Even if I just turned this thing into a damn rental, right? I'm rocking it hard. So yeah, definitely gotta take a look at that. After that, we've got 16551 Blanco Key. That's going to be MLS number 1521229. Again, $185,000. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got a half bath because it's a 2-story. This is in Longs Creek, also Northeast Corridor, Madison area. And again, for those that are just tuning in, we're talking about these in a bunch because we want people to find affordable properties that are up in the market, up in areas they want to be at, where they can settle in and get themselves transitioned, because prices are going up regardless, right? But this property's got great big bedrooms. You know what I mean? I'm looking at everything. It's got, you know, all the original cabinetry, but it's clean. And that's all I can ask for. For $185K, right? I just want a property that's clean. That looks like it's been well maintained, right? The roof looks like it's in pretty good shape up top. You know, outside you got a lot of brick exterior. So, you know, what are we talking about? This is a great property and it's going to go. So after that, we've got 2111 Muuga Manor. I don't know. It's Muuga. It rolled with it, man. But MLS number 1521198. List price is going to be $260K for the same 1,893 square foot property. This one's 2013. It's an MI home. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And for their single stories, people don't realize MI, as far as builders, gives you a lot of extra bonuses. We don't talk about this all the time, but right, is there a difference between builders? Yeah, you damn right, right? Oh, yeah. Some of them give you extra goodies. MI is one of those, and we talk about goodies. It just feels like they put a little bit more style, a little bit more love into what they call standard, right? Because people don't realize until they're buying new that there is a phrase called standard that everybody should know, so that way you know what you're actually getting. They're committed to giving that to you as a builder. So you walk in, single story, big open floor plan. You can see the kitchen to countertop to dining space. It flows all the way through. You can't miss it. And that's the thing. 2013, newer construction, so you've got newer cosmetics, all new doors, right? Like, it's a really, really great looking property. And again, 1,893 square foot. That's usually the big boy floor plan for single story properties for a lot of builders right now. Usually when you see 260 to 240, you're usually going to be around 1,600 square foot for a lot of these. So that tells me this has that additional bonus space that you want to take advantage. So after that, we're going to get into, this is the last of the freebies. So we're going to go into 12526 Misty Creek. This is going to be MLS number 1521183. It's going to be 2,300 square foot, 2,343 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, also a single story, but we're going to start getting into a little bit of a hotter area, right? We're over in Churchill District. You're going to be over in Oak Hollow. Really great spot. And you can see it. What everybody loves about these areas is not that you just have great lots, but this place is manicured, man. Really big oak trees is what you see from these well-established neighborhoods, right? A lot of these are 3/4 brick. You take a look at this front page, man, and you can see, like, it's got really great landscaping. You got a little bit of golf grass in the front, not a whole bunch. They xeriscaped a bunch too. So, you know, personally as a dad, I can appreciate as much xeriscaping as possible. But still, you know, for a property that's, that was built in 83, right? Like, you can't miss just the big open floor plans that they gave, the big beam across the roof, you know what I mean, inside. Those are the classic things. Lots of cabinetry, big open kitchen. I mean, it's a really great find. And for $365, right, because we just shifted locations pretty significantly, you're inside Loop 1604, right off Northwest Military, access to the Warsbach Parkway, access to the airport. You can get to a lot of places without ever even getting on the highway, and that's what makes this thing such a gem. So now,
Churchill, huh?
All right, I'm telling you. We're at number 3.
3. 3.
All right, here we go. It's always kind of funny when you see a property come up, especially when it's raw land. So the address is 0000 FM 3006. This is Pleasanton, Texas. I'm going to give you the MLS because it's a little bit easier to find it for my agents. 152-1174 for $430,000, $429.99. I can get 43 acres in Pleasanton, Texas. And for those that don't know, Pleasanton is just south of San Antonio. If you're rolling out, heading towards the coast, right, shoot 37 south. It's about 30 minutes outside of San Antonio city limits, and you'll see the big sign, birthplace of the cowboy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he says it. Literally, it says it. Welcome to Pleasanton, birthplace of the cowboy.
Huh.
So, literally, first page on this thing, you can't miss the moo cows. Big open range, lots of gorgeous oaks. It's a big triangular shaped property. With 43 acres, man, I can hunt. I can farm. It looks like you've got a lot of farmland. It looks like you've got a well that was running for a while. It's got a dilapidated property on it, but, I mean, I'll turn that into a shed. Seriously, I really don't care. It's a great looking piece of land. And then to have so much acreage this close to the city, right? We're talking about things running everywhere. It's not just up north. It's not just by the lakes, sure. Right? It's south, oh my gosh, on all sides of the city. And Pleasanton is one of those sneakies, right? 43 acres for $430K, man. Think about that.
Huh.
420.
Is that 30 minutes from downtown?
Yep. 30 minutes from downtown. All right, we've got a killer property. This is over by Bandera Road towards Helotes. 8390 North Verde Drive. 8390 North Verde Drive. MLS number 1521167 for $545K. It's a really unique property. It was built in 1967. Big single story on 1.6 of an acre. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 3,300 square foot, right? And so this is where everybody's going like that. Hills and Dales kind of area right behind it, right above 1604. You're already pretty much in Helotes, right? You just go a few steps over, but big, swanky, mid-century modern style home, all one big single story, big wood cabinets. I mean, you can see this thing was just tremendous in its day, right? Like this was custom build. And so you can see it. It's got utility space. The utility room has the utility sink. The things that, man, that was like cutting edge back in the day. Whoa, a sink in your utility space. But you can't miss it. Big open floor plan, big wide rooms. I mean, closets are huge. Bathrooms are huge. It's a big property. I'm still clicking. I'm still clicking through this thing, right?
1960?
Yeah, 1967 is when it was built. So 3,300. It's got kind of like a garden pavilion in the middle because it kind of wraps around between the house and the garage. Has the double doors right there so you can bring stuff in. Has a big slab port on the side of the house, so you've got all this carport access in addition to your garage space itself. I mean, it's a winner.
Nice.
Yeah, 1.61 acres at that, right, in the city. So that's going to take us to our last one. All right, everybody wants the showstopper, and so I'm going to give it to you, man. This is 342 East Melrose. This is in Olmos Park.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, everybody know where Olmos is?
Yeah. My brother lives right on 201 East Melrose.
There you go. There you go. So great spot. 342 East Melrose. It's going to be MLS number 150-6412. We're priced at $799, $31.99 square foot, 4 bedroom, 4.5 bath. This thing looks like an old school castle. I mean, all the limestone exterior. You can see a lot of exquisite woodwork that's done around the wood frames and the windows that are there. I mean, the property itself is 0.29 of an acre, which is really great. But, from metal fencing, big limestone pillars outside to hold the fencing in place. This place looks like it's just straight throwback, big wood floors, high ceilings, right? You've got a built-in wine cellar, like no joke. A built-in wine cellar.
$799, you said?
Yeah, $799.
How many
and
square
almost
feet?
Almost 3,200. Almost 3,200
wow.
square foot,
Okay.
right? Big wolf-style range, sub-zero fridge, right? Like you get all the niceties.
Let me see that.
There you
It's
go,
not
man.
too far, man.
No.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
But it's a winner, and that's the whole point. We want people to see exactly what's out there on the market. I mean, I'd swoop this thing up in a heartbeat. They got like an old school Camaro in the look. Yeah, I can't even make this
Dude,
up.
those properties around there are selling for about. My neighbor, million plus.
Yeah.
1.2.
Yeah, because
in
it's
that
an
same
estate,
neighborhood, man.
right?
Yeah.
This is an estate,
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't think it's going to last. I don't know. I'm waiting for the catch, honestly. But you've got a tremendous view outside, upstairs. I mean, every bedroom, every bathroom just looks exquisite. Wow. Especially for its time and period. So, yeah, 342 East Melrose Drive, MLS number 150-6412. 3199 square foot, 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath. Oh, and by the way, you got Alamo Heights School District. Boom.
There you go, man.
Bam. All right. So we are going to slide over into Project Pat after this. Gylan.
Yeah, Project Pat. You know what's next.
All right. We're going to slide over into 131 East Highland.
You know what I have to do is I need to put music. You want music for Project Pat.
I'm like, hello,
I got
Gylan.
it. I got the hint. I got to do a Project Pat music.
Little
Okay. You want to do the Project Pat song? You want to do that one?
Can I just get the beat?
Yeah,
everybody knows that beat. All right, cool. All right, so 131 East Highland is what we're going to slide over to. We're going to talk about multifamily. We're going to talk about how effective it is for a lot of people and what you're trying to do. And so this is actually a 5-plex property, right? It is located right off South Presa, right next to the Lone Star subdivision. So it's definitely an up-and-coming area. So up-and-coming, in fact, that we have a 2-story Victorian, 2 houses over, that's priced at almost $600,000, $599.99, right? Because we had talked about 139 East Highland before, and so this is 131 East Highland, 5 units. Right now, we've got it out there as an off-market property at $430K. This is what's known as a value add. People that may not be familiar with that term is you're going to buy a property, and the strategy is that you've got the existing rents that it's sitting on, right? This is what you base your cap rate on, and when you do this, your hope is that you're going to put some TLC into the property and be able to raise rent accordingly, right? Just to increase what you're bringing in annually. And so, for example, this one is currently at $650 per unit. You've got 5 units. That means you're bringing in $3,250 a month, right? And so, what does that break down to when people are talking about cap rate, right? We're talking about $3,250 now times 12, right? So that means annually it's currently bringing in $39,000. Right now, does it mean that I made straight profit off that $39,000? Of course not, right? Like we're going to have, scenarios where you've got expenses, right? You've got property taxes, you've got maintenance fees, you've got different things, insurance that you've got to include, and this all becomes part of the deal. So in this example, it's currently at $16,900 per year. Right, as far as what its expenses are. So now let's run through it. I've got $39,000 I'm bringing in annually. I'm going to subtract now my cost of maintaining this property, which is $16,967. Right, so that leaves me with $22,033. Now, in this scenario, let's say I acquire the property at a flat price of $418,000. So now I'm going to get the $22,000 that I have that I'm actually earning left over into my acquisition cost of $418,000, and that's going to leave me with 5.27%. This is what's known as a cap rate. Now, 5% isn't a phenomenal cap rate. It's a good cap rate. Right, especially if you're at the beginning stage of it, because now we want to raise the rent.
There
right?
you go.
We've already acquired a property that's growing incredibly fast, and you're located into an area that we know has a high ceiling. So if you think about what is my property, or what's my 401k, what's my mutual fund, what are these other vehicles earning me year over year? Well, San Antonio right now, these are not my statistics. This came from, San Antonio Real Estate, right? SABOR, San Antonio Board of Real Estate, right? They're earning almost 10% year over year citywide, right? The city is going up on average around 10%. And that's a pretty tremendous feat, right? Like I can't name a stock that I can say is doing that well consistently, but our city has been growing consistently. And so right now we're averaging about 10%. So let's say I've got my 418K and I'm growing by 10% year over year. Now, if we bought correctly, some of these areas are going to grow even faster, right? Andres, some of the properties you've bought with me, they've grown significantly higher and faster because we bought in really strategic areas, real strategic positions. And that's what this property is, right? It's located right next to the Lone Star. It's located right down the street from the river, right up the road from Lavaca, right all the restaurants, all the, King William action, First Friday, Second Saturday.
What's the square footage of each unit?
Each unit, well, the property is 2,800 square foot, I believe, and I think each one is different because you've got two 1s, excuse me,
Okay.
In the house itself, and then 2 1s.
Okay.
And then the back garage is a fifth unit.
I
So those are roughly about $850 for each one of the 2 1s, and then I believe the other one I think is sitting closer to like $600 for each of the 1 1s.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, right, we haven't even gotten into the breakdown of what it's getting per foot, et cetera, but we're just talking about how do you make this work for yourself. So let's say this property, which I've seen it, is in pretty good shape, and I don't got to do a lot, right? It already has a newer roof. The exterior looks like it's in pretty good shape. I looked underneath, and it's got partial foundation, right? They've got some cement piers. It looks like you've got a lot of other stuff resupported, beams redone. So structurally, this thing's looking pretty good so far. You have all 5 meters to rent from, so each renter can actually have their own in their name, right? Which is a nice convenience as a landlord. And then they share water cost and then insurance cost, right? That's part of what we're talking about. So you've got this as your net, and let's say I'm going to put $10K into each one, right? And you've got 5, so $50K, right? So in this scenario, let's say
$468.
Right, you're at $468. Okay. So now run this up. I'm at $468, but now I'm going to be running a higher rent. Let's say I just raised my rent to $850 for each rent, right?
Yep.
And so for that $850, that's now $51,000 annually that I'm bringing in.
Yeah.
And so
$20,000 more.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it. So on top of that, I've got my cost stayed the same, right? It's as far as what my operating is. So I'm using the same $16,967, and I'm subtracting that from my $51,000 that I'm getting now in my new annual rent, and that leaves me with $34,000 a year. Now remember, my cost went up because I put this money into the property, so I'm at the $468 for my total cost. But now I'm dividing that by $34,000 of what I'm getting in income, and that leaves me now with a 7.27% cap rate. That's a pretty good cap rate. Okay. Now we're actually talking about something that's worthy of a great portfolio, and then that's just taking away that you still have this thing gaining, right? City average 10% right now. But I think, honestly, you'll do significantly better in this specific location than many others of the city. Ideally, you got to have a goal with these things. And I really feel like this property in the near future can probably attain rents of about $1,000 a piece, or maybe a little bit more for the 2 bedrooms versus the 1. But that would then bump you up to a 9% cap rate. Yeah. And so, now it's a winner. Now I'm holding this thing long term. And then once it pays itself off, right? Think about that. Now I'm actually netting, that full rent year over year.
Skyland, this guy's already selling me on another property. I'm like, I gotta look away from this guy. He's already
don't make eye contact.
I'm like,
man.
What?
Don't make eye contact.
Dude, it makes sense. Let's go ahead and do it. Wait a minute,
Patrick. What are we doing just sitting here? Let me get Leonore. Write it up.
Jeez.
Write it up. Throw it in the basket.
Jeez.
All right. So that's the point, though. That's what the idea is behind all these things. At the end of the day, we're not doing it just because we really love the chase and like doing these radio shows and stuff like that. It's real world. It's real money. Yeah. There's real risk involved with all of this, but have a plan. Know what you want to do. Know what you want to attain, and make sure that it's plausible, and then go get it. Yeah. Go get it. For those that don't know, because it is a 5-unit complex, you can't use traditional, conventional to buy a property like this, right? Conventional financing. You got to go. It's going to be considered a commercial type property, so you'd have to take it through commercial financing, if not cash. But just a little for your info.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Well, hey, Andres, thank you very much for joining us today. My man, Gylan Jackson, dude,
thank you, Gylan.
Keep crushing it for me every week, bro. Thank you so very much.
Hey, we went live on 5 different platforms at the same time.
Woo, so I love it.
I got to get yours on there. But yeah, so, just real quick, I was at the Tobin Center yesterday.
Yeah.
And what you and I do, there was literally 4 people doing the exact same thing.
Really?
I know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know why, but there were literally 4 people doing the exact same thing that I'm trying to pull off with one person each time. So
I already know it, bro.
It's crazy. It's
That's why
crazy.
this setup is amazing. For those who don't know, man, it's definitely not me doing this by myself. Guylan over at Big Lab Studios is just crushing for me.
VodPod Media.
VodPod Media is how you look him up, but definitely got to get with him if you want anything that's going to be remotely professional like this. He is a killer.
Thank you. Well, I'm not a killer. I'm a healer. And anyway, on that note, we're out.
All right. And we're out.